the body changes quietly after 60. Not with loud warning signs. Not with dramatic alarms. But slowly, silently, the body begins reacting differently to stress. Sleep becomes lighter. Belly fat becomes harder to lose. Energy disappears faster. And many people never realize one hidden hormone may be driving it all: cortisol. Cortisol is the body's survival hormone. In short bursts, it protects us. But when stress stays constant for years, cortisol can remain elevated too long, and that changes the body from the inside out. Scientists now connect chronic cortisol imbalance to visceral fat, the dangerous deep belly fat wrapped around internal organs. This fat is linked to heart disease, inflammation, memory decline, diabetes, and faster aging. But decades ago, many older Americans unknowingly followed natural daily habits that helped calm cortisol before modern life replaced them with noise, screens, processed food, and non-stop stress. And some of those forgotten wellness habits may still work today. Before we continue, take a moment to like this video and subscribe for more natural wellness and healthy aging content designed for adults over 60. And comment below, which old-fashioned habit do you believe people should bring back today? The first forgotten U.S. wellness tip begins in the early morning sunlight. For generations, older Americans naturally spent time outdoors shortly after waking up. Sitting on the porch. Watering plants. Walking quietly through the yard. Reading the newspaper outside while the world was still calm. What seemed simple was actually deeply biological. Morning sunlight helps regulate the circadian rhythm, the body's internal clock controlling hormones, metabolism, sleep, and stress responses. Healthy cortisol should rise naturally in the morning and slowly fall by evening. But artificial light, late-night television, and modern screen exposure can disrupt that rhythm completely. When cortisol timing becomes chaotic, the body begins storing more visceral fat around the abdomen. Even 15 minutes of morning sunlight may help reset the nervous system and stabilize stress hormones naturally. And maybe that's why older generations often seemed calmer in the mornings. Their days didn't begin with panic. They began with stillness. That quiet rhythm continued into another forgotten American wellness habit: slower meals. Many older Americans once sat down at the same table every day to eat home-cooked meals without distraction. No phones. No rushing. No eating inside cars or scrolling through endless news while chewing. And modern science now shows the nervous system affects digestion far more than most people realize. When cortisol stays elevated, the body enters survival mode. Blood flow shifts away from digestion. Hunger hormones become unstable. Cravings increase. Blood sugar spikes harder. And fat storage around the stomach becomes easier. The body literally processes food differently under stress. Older generations unknowingly protected themselves through routine and simplicity. Homemade soups. Beans. Oats. Garden vegetables. Slow-cooked meals. Smaller portions eaten calmly instead of processed foods consumed under pressure. But another forgotten habit may have been even more powerful than the food itself. Human connection. Front porches once stayed full late into the evening. Neighbors talked face to face. Families gathered after dinner. Friends walked together through neighborhoods. People laughed more often without screens interrupting every moment. Today, loneliness has become one of the biggest hidden stressors affecting older adults. And the body feels loneliness physically. Studies show chronic isolation may increase cortisol, inflammation, sleep problems, and visceral fat accumulation. The brain interprets emotional isolation as danger, and the nervous system stays trapped in a low-level state of stress. That constant stress slowly changes the body over time. Which may explain why some older Americans remained emotionally resilient even during difficult lives. Their stress was shared through community instead of carried alone. If this video speaks to you, share it with someone over 60 who deserves better health, deeper sleep, and less stress. Sometimes one forgotten habit can completely change the direction of aging. And the next forgotten US wellness tip may surprise modern audiences the most. Because it has nothing to do with gyms, supplements, or expensive wellness programs. Older Americans once moved constantly throughout the day without calling it exercise. They swept porches, worked in gardens, walked to nearby stores, repaired tools in garages, cooked meals from scratch, hung clothes outside, carried groceries by hand. Their bodies stayed active through steady, natural movement woven into ordinary life. And modern science is now rediscovering how powerful that kind of movement really is. Low-intensity movement spread across the day can help lower cortisol more gently than extreme exercise routines that overwhelm aging bodies. For adults over 60 especially, intense workouts combined with poor sleep and chronic stress may actually keep cortisol elevated longer. But walking, gardening, stretching, slow daily movement. These activities calm the nervous system while improving circulation, blood sugar control, insulin sensitivity, and fat metabolism. And visceral fat responds strongly to this kind of consistency. Researchers now understand that abdominal fat is not simply stored calories. Visceral fat behaves almost like an active organ, releasing inflammatory chemicals that affect the heart, brain, liver, and metabolism. The more stress the body feels, the more tightly it may hold on to that fat as a survival response. Which is why gentle movement paired with emotional calmness becomes so powerful after 60. Even something as simple as a slow evening walk after dinner may lower blood sugar spikes, support digestion, improve sleep quality, and reduce stress hormones at the same time. And perhaps the most forgotten wellness tip of all. Rest without guilt. Many older Americans once lived with natural pauses built into life. Evenings slowed down. Sundays felt quieter. Families gathered after dinner instead of disappearing into separate screens. There were moments when the nervous system could truly stop performing. Today, many people stay mentally stimulated every waking hour. Television until midnight. Endless phone notifications. Constant bad news. Chronic worry about health, money, family, or the future. The brain never fully relaxes. And the body pays the price. Poor sleep directly affects cortisol regulation, hunger hormones, inflammation, memory, and visceral fat storage. Studies now show adults sleeping poorly often experience stronger cravings, higher stress responses, and increased abdominal fat accumulation over time. But deep rest changes the body in extraordinary ways. During quality sleep, tissues repair. Hormones rebalance. The nervous system resets. Inflammation decreases. Even emotional resilience improves. The body heals in stillness. And maybe that is the hidden lesson older generations understood better than modern society. Health was never only about looking younger. It was about protecting peace inside the body. Because stress ages the body quietly. Chronic cortisol drains energy silently. And visceral fat grows invisibly for years before symptoms finally appear. But small daily habits still matter. Morning sunlight. Slower meals. Human connection. Gentle movement. Deep rest. Simple things. Forgotten things. Yet science continues proving that the body responds powerfully when life becomes calmer, slower, safer, and more human again. And before age 75, those forgotten habits may matter more than ever. If this video helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone over 60 who deserves a healthier, calmer life. And comment below which forgotten wellness habit you believe people should bring back today.